Worksheet number 1, exploring pi, area of circles, and circumference. So for this problem, we're going to have to measure diameter, radius, and circumference. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. So we're going to try this. First is diameter. Okay, so diameter is a distance through the circle between any two given points, but it has to pass through the center. So for that, we are going to use the ruler, and we're going to use centimeters for to work in our class. So check this out. We're going to have to send it through the center, and this is our diameter. Here we go. This is our diameter, so we just need to measure. It's going to be approximately. So I'm measuring 4.8, about 4.8 centimeters. Now radius. A radius is going to be half of that, because radius is a distance from the center of a circle to any point on a circle. So we just have to measure it this way, and I'm measuring just under 2.5. So, and if you divide 4.8 by 2, you get 2.4 centimeters. Again, all of this is approximately. Okay, and now to measure circumference. Circumference is a distance around the entire circle. Normally people use strings and other things that's bendable. I'm going to use an electric wire. So here's how I'm going to do it. You coil it up, you get approximation, and then what we're going to do is we're going to see what the two ends meet. So right here, I'm going to put my finger on here, and then I'm going to unwind it. So it's right here. I already got it. So I'm going to unwind it like this. So now it's straight-ish. And then we're going to measure it. And I'm measuring circumference to be about, let me see, what is it? About 14.9 centimeters. Okay, so circumference, that's a capital C, equals 14.9 centimeters. Next example, example number 8, we need to find the area of a circle. And using 3 different approximations. One is going to be exact, one is going to be the whole, round to the nearest whole, and another one will be round to the nearest tenth. So first of all, understand that pi is 3.14159. That's going to be the most accurate approximation of pi that we're going to use. Not just 3.14. It's not going to be enough for our calculation, so we need a more exact. The formulas we're going to be using is area equals pi multiplied by radius squared. What is radius squared? Here's or. Area equals pi times radius. And let's take a look at our example. Our radius is given to us. Radius is 9 inches here. So again, it's going to be area equals pi times 9 times 9. Exact way of doing it is not, I'm going to put it here, keep pi as pi. So that means that 9 times 9 is 81, and pi is pi. So the answer is just going to be 81 times pi inches squared. That's going to be our area if you want to get exact measurement. Now, next one, we're going to multiply. We're going to get rounded to the nearest whole. So that means, again, area equals pi times 9 times 9, which equals to, instead of pi, we're going to write down 3.14159 times 9 times 9. I'm going to use a calculator for that, and we're all going to be able to use a calculator for this. Again, so it's going to be 3.14, oops, so it's going to be 3.14159 times 9 times 9 equals 254 to the nearest whole, it's going to be 254. That's it. Inches squared. Always use the squared inches if you're talking about area. Okay, and next one to the nearest tenth, again, area equals pi times 9 times 9 equals 3.14159 times 9 times 9 equals, and this one we need to round it to the nearest tenth. Nearest tenth will be 0.46. This is 6, so add 1 to the 4, which is 254.5 inches squared. So those are just three ways of doing the exact to the nearest whole and to the nearest tenth approximations. You will need to know all three of them for the future, okay? And meanwhile, we're just gonna stick with either one. So be comfortable with all. The easiest one, by the way, is the exact one. You don't have to even use a calculator. Okay, example number 9 is gonna be the same thing as example 8. However, there's no radius, so no r, but we need r. However, we have a diameter equals 20. If diameter is 20, radius is just half of that. So radius equals 20 over 2, which is 10 inches. So that means that this is 10 and this is 10. Radius equals 10. Very nice. Now all we got to do is use the same area equals pi times r. And let's do the exact again. Let's do the nearest whole, and let's do the nearest tenth. So the easiest one is to do the exact one. It's going to be area equals pi times r, and I'm rewriting it a lot of times so that you get comfortable with the formula notation. Again, radius times radius is what? 10. So 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times pi. And I need to put inches squared. So that's going to be our exact. Now, to the nearest whole is going to be this 3.14159 times 10 times 10 equals 314. Okay, and to the nearest tenth is going to be 314.2 inches squared. So same concept, except for the two problems, except for here diameter is given to us and not radius, so we need to find radius. Now in example 20, we need to find the area of each circle. However, radius is no longer given to us, so we need to find the radius if given the circumference. This is going to be one of the toughest areas to work with. Circumference is 58.4 yards. So again, area, formula for the area is pi radius squared. Nowhere near it's mentioned the circumference. So we need to use circumference to find radius, then plug in the radius into this formula and it'll be done deal. So first of all, if you're given diameter, this is the formula to use. However, in our case, we're not given diameter, we're given radius. So circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. And in our case, circumference is given to us. So instead of C, we're just going to write down what's given to us. 58.4 equals 2 times pi times r. And now we need to solve for radius, just like we did in the first 2 weeks of school. What we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Divide by 2 pi. 2 pi's cancel out on the right and leaving just r. However, here is the 58.4 divided by 2 pi. Okay, so it's like 58.4 divided by, so here's what you punch into your calculator. 58.4 divided by 2 divided by 3.14159. Okay, and so here we go. I'm just gonna type it in as a raw multiplication. 3.14159 is pi. Okay, so we're gonna start with where's the clear button? So we're gonna go with 58.4 divided by 2 divided by 3.14159 equals, and I get 9.29 equals radius. So my radius is 9.29. And now I can plug it into our formula, okay? So that was our step 1. Now step 2 is, let's use the formula to find area. Area equals pi times radius squared. So I'm going to plug in all the values here. Area equals 3.14159 times radius 9.29 times 9.29. And here's my answer. So again, 3.14159 times 9.29 times 9.29 equal, I'm getting 271.1, or since we're doing it rounded to the nearest whole, is going to be 271 yards squared. And that's your final answer. Now for this last section, we're just going to do area of triangles and rectangles. So here are a couple of examples. Again, area of a triangle, area of a rectangle. We just need to know which one is base. Base is usually the side that the shape is resting on. So base, and this is going to be the height, or length times width, and all that kind of stuff. So this is rectangle. So area of a rectangle is base times height. And instead of base, we're going to go right down 7.3. Okay, so instead of base, this is 7.3 times height. Instead of height, this is 5.8. All you got to do now is multiply. So here you go, 7.3 times 5.8. My answer is 42.32. So area equals 42.34 inches squared. Okay, always do squared inches, all right? Because you're doing a two-dimensional. So inches times inches is inches squared. Okay, next example. This is a square here. So if it's a square, all you got to do is multiply side by itself. Again, same concept. 10.9 times 10.9. The answer is area equals 118.81 miles squared. It's a lot of land here. And last one is a triangle. For triangle, the area equals 1/2 times base times height. So we're looking at, again, this is the base, and this is how tall it is, the height. So area equals 0.5. I'm going to make it easier on you. So instead of 1/2, go 0.5 because it's easier to plug into the calculator, times 5 times 5.1. So I'm going to go ahead and do it really quick. 0.5 times 5 times 5.1. The answer is 12.75. And what the unit we're dealing with? Centimeters. Centimeters squared. So that's our area. And last couple of things I want to show you is what we're going to be doing with these. Actually, never mind. This is it. These are all the answers.